So, welcome. We have our CEO with us, two special guests. We've got Neil with us. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. Always good to see you, Jacob.
We're just sharing a glass of Lagavulin.
Yep.
Neil was telling me it's his first ever dram, so it's a bit of a special one. How about a little Q&A, Neil?
I would love that.
A little Q&A.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
So Dan very kindly has put together a couple of little points that we might want to cover. How's the market performed? How would you perceive the market has performed over the last 12 months?
It's been tough. We've continued to sell. We've continued to manage portfolios. But the world is in, let's be honest, it's in a very volatile, fickle situation right now. If that's been wars, or if that's been market downturns, if that's been the property markets. China, Hong Kong are not doing fantastically right now financially, but we are doing very well. We're continuing to sell. We're continuing to hold strong. But it's been a tough market this year.
I mean, I have clients that are in the finance business, and we talk about the lost decade, which I think is a theme.
Yeah.
You mentioned there, we've had a lot of conflicts. There's poor economic performance in what are major markets for us. But having said all of that, I think as a group we perform pretty well, and I think these sort of situations, Neil, probably assist, or I wouldn't go as far as to say we benefit from it. That sounds a bit callous. Yeah. But people are obviously looking for stability, and stability's hard to come by now.
Definitely,
we know that, and I think that's probably a reason that we've had, whilst a challenging year, a good year from Braeburn's perspective, because we've helped people acquire assets that ultimately will give them a bit of stability on their investment portfolios.
Definitely.
And that's what people are ultimately looking for. Whiskey.
Yes.
We talk about the cask market, obviously. First of all, what changes have we seen this year within Braeburn that you think are important to share with our clients?
Well, if we go back to the step of the toughness we faced this year, that's due to things like sentiment in the market with paperwork, or sentiment in the market with storage. So what we've done is we've had a housework year almost. We've sold over 5,000 casks since day one, which we've both contributed to, which is fantastic. But what it's made us do is stand up and actually say, do you know what? We have a big business here with a lot of casks and a lot of clients across a lot of nations across the world. So one of our biggest 2023 takeaways is just getting a grip of the magnitude of this situation. And I want to go into 2024 with plans to consolidate our casks in one location, to really back up support in operations, to really back up support with administration as well, and just make us go into 2024 in a stronger position that we can service our clients a lot better. Any company can be better. We know that. We know it's been tough with a lot of different things. But the bigger you get as a company, the more you have to stand up and address the things you have to do. So one thing we will see in 2024 is a learning curve from the previous years. It's just been better. And that's all we will ever do, is just be better and better and better. But we are taking on casks every single month. We are taking on new clients every single month. So it's now up to us to service those clients and casks the best way we possibly can.
And I think, from my perspective, no doubt from everybody's perspective in the company,
This is very nice.
it is great, isn't it? We do. The Lagavulin 16, for those of you who didn't catch that, a high quality Isle of Drama. Well, it's probably the go-to Isle of Drama, isn't it?
I think it's a
Certainly is
go-to,
for me.
like, maybe a big statement here, but I think Lagavulin 16 could be the best sub-18-year-old whiskey on the planet.
It's not unfair to say
Or
that.
Glenallachie 15, I'm quite a Glenallachie fan.
Yeah, me too. Glenalec and Billy Walker, amazing.
Legend.
So we've been at the mercy of the whiskey industry, and I think a lot of clients that are coming into this perhaps for the first time don't appreciate it's an ancient industry run by a lot of ancient people and a lot of ancient practices. And obviously Braeburn Whisky, we are going into 2024. We want our company to reflect the fact that we are a 2024 company,
Yes.
and not necessarily stuck in the 1900s. And so we've, as a company, been at the mercy of what are difficult logistics, difficult operation. We talk about warehousing, and we make a lot of promise to our clients that we obviously strive to keep.
Always.
And I think the impression I've got speaking, Neil, with you, is that we want to be less reliant upon the industry moving
Big
forward, so we can deliver on all of the promises we make to our clients, such as warehouse visits, you know, moving in casks. All of these are the logistic issues that we've encountered,
Yes.
and we've got big plans for 2024. I don't want to give too much away in that regard, but I think without giving too much away, I feel that towards the end of 2024 we're going to be delivering on a lot of things that perhaps other people in the industry aren't able to do because of the restrictions. Just whiskey is the victim to an extent of its own success.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very small part of the world that produces this phenomenal global product, and I mean that's certainly been my experience. We've not suffered, but we've had these challenges that we're overcoming. Great news for our clients, because in 2024 Braeburn's obviously going to deliver.
We are, and I don't want to say too much, especially on camera, because my job is to work as hard as I can behind the scenes. I know. What I can give you though is I'm a great believer that we've done the hard work. And the hard work being, we've taken on thousands of clients worldwide. We've taken on thousands of casks from multiple distilleries, multiple ages, multiple taste, flavour profiles. I can go on and on. We've done the hard yards of taking on those casks and those clients. What I want to do now, and what we want to do as a business, is take that up a level. Now, the only reason why we can take it up a level is due to the fact of how big we've gotten. Now, you're very correct in saying that, I mean, whiskey's what, 220 years old, the oldest distillery in Scotland, even older probably. I think it is anyway.
Well, we'd have Tobermory over there somewhere, don't we?
It's one of the oldest.
1792, I think, or 1793.
1792. So we're talking about 220 years of, let's be honest, the same distilling methods, the same storage the storage methods.
Yeah.
We've come into a market and created such a big bang in the market where we're still relying on these past practices.
Absolutely.
Now, one thing we'll always do is make sure we keep with traditions and keep with looking after the whiskey. But yes, 2024 has taken us up a level. And that is, I mean, I don't mind saying this in camera, but one of the biggest objectives I have for next year is consolidation. Now, I'll leave that there because there's work that goes into that. But I would love, and I think our clients would love, and you would love, as one of our senior portfolio managers, and for all the clients you have, is to have them under one roof.
Yeah.
To have them serviced under one roof, to have them working with their cask in one place.
Absolutely.
So the days of being reliant on third parties is something I want to get away from. It's served Braeburn a fantastic purpose over the years.
And we've got some excellent partners.
Amazing
as a result
partners, phenomenal partners. But listen, Jacob, if you buy a cask of whiskey, you want to see that cask. You want to touch that cask. You want to have a drink.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I'm at a position now where let's stop telling our clients no and start telling them yes, of course you can. So yes, as hard as that might be next year, that is at the very top of my list.
Excellent. We have every faith in the team to deliver on that. So one of Dan's so he's giving us talking points.
Okay. Dan's excellent.
So casks aside, just talking about the whiskey market in general. Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean, what do we expect for 2024? Well, I think the big news in the industry is expansion of our global market.
Yes.
And how do you perceive that being achieved? I mean, is there something specifically exciting that you see down the road for our industry in 2024?
One of the things I love about what we do is I travel a lot. And I'm travelling today, as you can see, scarf and jacket still on.
It's a little cold in here. I don't know if you spotted that.
I'm in Barcelona, literally flying tonight, and I travel a lot. I go to our offices around the world. I see clients all the time. It's amazing how many people still don't know about what we do.
Yeah.
And I think...
Hopefully these aren't people that have invested with us.
No. I'm hoping they know what we do. But what I think's amazing is we're consumed by this job. And when you're consumed by a job, and you think that you're just doing this over and over and it's fantastic to give people access, but when you travel and understand it, we've not even gone to a stage where we're scratching the surface, so to speak.
Yeah. There's a lot more people out there to discover the virtues of drinking
Yeah.
and also owning whiskey casks.
It's as long as it's done properly. We always value the whiskey first. You know that. And we always value operations first. I would want to expand that as much as we possibly can with our global footprint. We have an office in New York, first compliant regulatory office in the world to sell cask whiskey,
for us.
which is phenomenal. I mean, having that office is just, it's an amazing achievement. But having Shanghai and having Barcelona, Edinburgh, Scotland, it's just, I can see the market moving into being more accessible to a lot of people. But that needs to be backed up with fantastic operations, fantastic consolidation. So I think going forward, it's giving people more access, more information, but more trust, more importantly.
Well, you know, we make a commitment to each and every one of our clients. We're all sort of, I think it's fair to say, we all love what we do. We care about our clients. So if we make a promise to them, we want to deliver on that. And it's good to know that we've got a team that appreciates that as well.
Yeah.
And ultimately doing the job. So Braeburn Whisky's main priority, I think that's pretty much, you covered it. How do we expect the global economy to perform? From a personal perspective, I can't see any light at the end of the tunnel in that regard.
But Jacob, we have, and this is why I love whiskey so much, is we'll never ask to be someone's 100% of someone's portfolio.
Oh, no, you wouldn't put the ranch in a single asset. That would be
But what we are
a mistake.
Is we're an avenue for people to invest. In the world, we're not going to give out financial advice here or give financial analysis, but let's be honest, you can see from the markets are down at the moment. They're not doing fantastically. We've got the property market, especially in Asia, not doing fantastic. We've got wars that are causing resource problems, especially in Ukraine, with different things going on. So when I just want enough people to know that whiskey can act as a great hedge. It can act as a great place to store your money. It's a great place for you to have a tangible, intrinsic investment where you can also enjoy it. So, yeah, the world is in a bit of a, lack of a better word, a mess right now, but there could be good places for you to invest in.
Well, you know, look, as every sensible investor knows, there's got to be some sort of fundamentals that underpin your investment, and the strength of the whiskey market ultimately is what underpins your investment in a cask of whiskey. So we've got a few little facts here, and all this obviously points towards is the rude health that our industry is in. A real big milestone for us this year, or the industry as a whole, was that we surpassed £6 billion in the value of exports.
Amazing, because that was down during COVID, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously it was. But
so I'm reading these figures here. So in 2022, the value of Scotch whisky exports was up 37% by value. And as Neil's pointed out, that's a lot to do with recovering to pre-COVID levels. Bottles, the number of bottles exported grew by 21%, the equivalent of 1.7 billion there or thereabouts. And look, big news in the industry for us next year. We talked about it there, expansion of new markets.
Yep.
India replaced France as the largest Scotch whisky market by volume.
Absolute giant.
We've only got 2% share of that market.
Yeah.
And France are the biggest consumers, and yet India, where we have a fraction of the market share, still is our biggest consumer. So that's really exciting.
That's amazing.
It's going to put and if the government does finally get this deal over the line that everybody in the industry is talking about,
I think they will.
Yeah, I
think they will.
You would hope so, given the amount of time that's gone into it. What is 150% tariff currently on Scotch whisky? The hope is that it'll be reduced to 25%. Hopefully. Adding an additional £1 billion worth of growth over the next 5 years.
It's incredible.
The only question is where they're going to get the whiskey from.
Well, that's it. I think Scotland punches above its weight, doesn't it? It's a small country, 5.5 million people, and it's the epicentre of whiskey.
Yeah.
And you've got big markets like China and India. They must equate for 3 billion people?
I don't know.
So to think about 190 distilleries servicing these massive markets, and they're not even going back to my saying earlier on, scratch the surface.
Yeah. So what do I expect? I'm not supposed to ask you that question, but invariably I end up talking about myself again. But India is really exciting. Mexico, Latin American market, that's opening up as well. You know, as we both know, you can't just turn up the volume because there's new markets there. If you open a new distillery, it's going to be 18 years before you've got an 18-year-old to put into the market.
There's no shortcuts there.
There's no shortcuts.
You have to wait till you're 18.
And so we're going to... my feeling is we'll see a number of things. We'll see this trend of bottling whiskies younger is going to continue. We're going to lose more age statements on distillery bottlings. And where are you going to find the age statements? You're going to find them in the independent bottlings. And where does that whiskey come from? Comes from the inventories that we look after and manage.
Teamed up with fantastic operations, teamed up with fantastic paper trails, teamed up with fantastic teams looking after those casks. It's exactly where it's going to come from. Isn't it? It's exactly where it's going to come from. All this whiskey's going to end up in bottles. I know. We get to drink some of it. From cask to glass. I
won't bore you all. We wanted to keep it brief.
I do have a flight to catch.
He has a flight to catch. You can see he's ready to go. There are some really amazing numbers coming out. There's what we're seeing. While certain markets have slowed off a little bit, we know that. Other markets are taking their place.
Yeah.
Taiwan and Asia. We all expect Asia at some point. We don't expect Asia. It will 100% be our most important market in the coming months and years. Most exciting, you can see now what I've got written down here.
Yeah, I can.
So
I just see Rosebank and I get excited. I'm a whiskey geek.
Event.
I'm a geek in whiskey. So
exciting event. So the question that Dan gave us here is, what are you most excited about in 2024? And I personally, and maybe you'd agree,
I can agree.
The Rosebank Distillery, for those that you don't know, a Lowland legend, triple distillation. I don't know if that's going to be how they're saying that.
Do you think they'll go back to that?
It's interesting. I mean, they said that they want to recreate the distillery's form of profile. So yeah, they would assume they're going to.
They have to.
But from a personal perspective, one of the best scotches I've ever tasted. I was fortunate enough, somebody bought me a bottle recently, and I think we're all really, really excited to see Rosebank back in the fold. And there was another little interesting question here, Neil, that did you discover any new whiskies in 2023?
Yes. Well, rediscovered.
Oh, okay.
And I need to just plug Glenallachie. So you thought I was going to say Arran there?
Yeah, well, he's from Arran. Big lover of Arran.
I love Arran.
Big advocate for Arran.
Yeah, collect Arran, love Arran, fantastic. But I rediscovered Glenallachie this year.
That's fantastic.
Now, I cannot recommend a whiskey better than Glenallachie to drink.
I'd agree 100%.
Value,
yeah,
colour, the bottle, the price point.
It's amazing.
Everything about it. The water source must be unbelievable. Billy Walker.
I mean,
no one can marry casks with liquids better than Billy Walker.
I would agree with you 100%. I always have Glenallachie in my flask if I'm out. We're doing picnics.
Yeah.
I always have Glenallachie in my flask.
It's a go-to.
Always got a bottle open at home. And people that don't know anything about whiskey, they go, "Oh, I don't like whiskey." And you go, well, try Billy Walker.
Put them on to Glenallachie. Yeah.
It's an amazing spirit.
I agree, and it's a safe one because you're in good hands with Billy Walker. Anything he touches turns to gold.
Yeah.
Listen, there's 10 Billy Walkers in Scotland who are phenomenal.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I rediscovered Glenallachie because I drank
because of Billy Walker as well.
Probably because of Billy Walker, and also we have sold a lot of a few Glenalachie's this year.
Great.
And that got me loving it again because I was sampling some Glenalachie's for my clients. And I tried it, and it was just amazing. So yeah, I would recommend to anyone to try Glenallachie. It's Christmas soon. Get a Glenallachie, decant it, pour it, drink it over Christmas.
Christmas pudding.
The 15-year-old sherry is to die for.
And you know something? The 12-year-old,
they're all good.
Relative is amazing. And I think the 12-year-old's more expensive than the 15-year-old somehow. I don't know how that works, but well, it was Rassai for me. Was revelation? Yeah, this year. Rassai, thank you.
Nice.
I was going to say that wrong.
Scottish here, pronunciations.
Yeah. Well, look, it's a young spirit. I think they're into their 4th year of production now, so we're seeing genuine whiskey. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sort of go through all of the superlatives that everybody else has already gone through. If you haven't discovered Rassai as yet, then I thought you were going to correct me on my pronunciation.
No, not at all.
Springbank.
I've got one more. Can we go back a step?
Yeah, of course we can.
So I'm from Ayrshire, a county in Scotland. And Ayrshire lacks, so Ayrshire is a massive county in Scotland.
Right.
Farmland as far as you can see. Robert Burns was born there. It's just as Scottish comes.
Right.
They don't have any whiskey distilleries.
Oh, really?
They've got Arran, which is an island distillery technically.
Yeah.
They've got Girvan, which is Grant's big monster.
Grain
But Lochlee have just opened up.
Okay.
Now, Lochlee is on a farm that Burns used to work at. Now, don't quote me that 100%, but there's a Burns connection there. They are about 3 or 4 years of age.
Right.
Jacob, they drink like
Lochlee.
so Loch
Yeah.
Lea.
Lea.
Lochlee.
Lochlee.
They are phenomenal.
Okay.
And they're so young. But they're cast. I think the guy who runs it, the master distiller, is a guy from Lefroy. So he come over to the mainland. They've got fantastic investment, lovely distillery. But look out for Lochlee.
Lochlee. So there you go. I haven't tried Lochlee. I'm going to try it next week.
Yeah.
And for those of you that aren't familiar with Rassi, then
Yeah,
I can't comment on Lochlee, but I'll trust Neil.
Yeah.
And Rassi, phenomenal spirit, sort of lightly smoked. It was very reminiscent of Springbank for me.
Yeah.
Just enough peat to get you peaty, sweet.
Yeah.
You know this.
It's only 4 years of age.
For you.
So here's a question for you, Jacob,
What
because
is this going to taste like?
you are like our whiskey expert. Like we always look to you for. I mean, I know my whiskey, but in your opinion, what makes a young whiskey like Rassi really, really good?
Well,
It's not got 18 years of maturation. It's not
No.
got, people, you don't need to have age to be good. But what do you think? Sorry for going off topic.
No.
But-
I mean, I'm no distiller. So, and the craft is in, the distillation, and we talk about new make spirits. You can actually get a fair idea of how a whiskey is going to mature,
Yeah.
based on the character of that grassy new make spirit. With Rasa specifically, I think it's that really sort of clever use of peat. They're not they're not giving you, like the Freud here. Take some peated whiskey, you're going to smell like a peat pit for the rest of your life. But I like the peat as long as it's subtle and it's not overpowering.
Yeah.
It's not the main sort of character of the whiskey. And with Rasa, they've got some sweetness. They're not trying with their new make spirit to overpower. This is, people
like
take a
that.
shortcut.
Yeah.
They go, okay, well, there's new make spirit. Let's just hammer it with loads of sherry or loads of Madeira, whatever it may be. They haven't done that. They've got every confidence in their new make spirit.
Okay.
And I think just that handmade aspect
that's
of
a
it as
big
well.
one.
It's a traditionally
That's a
made.
big one.
So I would assume that they're just in there all the time, fine-tuning this whiskey to get it to exactly where they want. And I can only assume there's a lot of thought gone into the design of the stills. It's not a very sulfury whiskey, which suggests there's a lot of copper content. I don't know what shape stills they're using or how these stills look, but they're producing, for me, one of the best young spirits I've ever tasted.
I'm going to buy a bottle. Because I think what you said there is quite important. Like when you're a new distillery and you're competing against Bowmore, who's been around for 200 years.
Yeah.
When you're a new distillery, you have to have USPs.
Yeah.
And the only USPs you have is quality.
Absolutely right.
So that's quite a good intake because a good outtake. Sorry, because Rassi will probably have to do things 100 times better than everyone else.
And there's a lot
simply
of new
because
distilleries.
they're new.
Yeah. And there's a lot of new distilleries they're having to compete with as well. We work with Annandale, fantastic distillery, fantastic
Annandale.
new make
I
spirit.
love Annandale.
So there's a lot of good quality competition out there. But I think and this is the beauty of it, and we'll wrap it up, but whilst we're on this, independently owned distilleries are a rare gem now.
They are.
In Scotland, and I think with these family owned independent distilleries, they'll just put that much effort
A lot of
into
love. As cheesy as that sounds, there's a lot of love that
There's
goes
a lot
into
of love goes into
because they need to make sure that product is a quality product. It's not millions and millions of litres.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that side of the coin, but I think new distilleries are very exciting. And listen, Jacob, new distilleries are the future of Scotch whisky.
Yeah. So we're excited about the new distilleries that are coming online. We just talked about 2 there, so we're in great shape, aren't we?
We are.
And 2024 will bring us some new whiskies to taste as well.
We definitely are. Let's do this again next
Yeah,
year.
so you'll have to come
Drinking
in.
some more whiskey.
And we'll drink some whiskey together, and
Excuse
we'll
me.
fall about drinking whiskey and telling you how amazing it is.
Yeah.
Neil, thanks for coming.
Thank
Always
you so
nice
much.
to see you.
Nice to finally be on the podcast.
Yeah, right. Of course.
Cheers, Jacob.
All right, and we'll just give a little shout out to Owen over there.
Thanks, Owen.
Billy's on holiday, so
Thank you,
we've got his standing Owen. Thanks, Owen.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
And a
when it
Merry
comes.
Christmas,
Take
everybody.
care.
Exactly right.